Yes, sir, we're officially back at it. This is Boog Nice coming at you with the Mezco Toyz 112 Collective Blade figure review. Let's do it.
This ain't for no scalper. You a scalper? Then fuck out shit. This one's for them real collectors. That's army building and posing figures. Marvel Legends, imports, mini matey I'm fucking with. Hype beast we know about you. Stay buying figs, don't know about it.
Logo on the side, logo on the side. Blade on the front. Let's get this guy open, see what's what. Alright, so I've got Blade the Daywalker out of the package. This is Mezco's second iteration of Blade, their first being a Toy Fair exclusive. Alright, New York Toy Fair 2019 Mezco booth. And I'm not going to hold you guys up. This version is just as good as the Toy Fair exclusive. Now, you do get quite a bit of accessories and interchangeable parts with the Toy Fair version that you don't get with this guy. But they did still pretty much cover the bases, and this is still a solid release. So don't beat yourself up if you weren't able to get the Toy Fair release. This guy is still very good. So let's get into his accessories. Straight out of the package, he comes with two fisted hands. And there's a quick look at those pegs. He's got two hands with the trigger fingers extended. I will double back to these when it's time to break out the guns. He's got two hands that in the first review I categorized as sort of martial art-esque hands. So the right hand has the pointer finger and the middle finger sort of extended from the other two fingers and the thumb sticking out from those. And then this is sort of, the left hand is sort of like a tiger claw or something like that. Switching these out so far have been no issue. Everything seems to be working fine. He's got another right hand with the trigger finger extended. And then he's got a left hand that is open and kind of cupped. I guess you could rest his larger weapons in that hand or use it to hold other items. Whatever you want to do. Those first two trigger finger hands I think you could probably utilize for his bladed weapons as well. We'll get into that, but moving right along. He's got a right hand that's open, flat, all the fingers are together, the thumb is kind of tucked into the palm of the hand. This could be utilized for more martial arts poses, I suppose. And then he's got a hand here that looks like it can be used to hold his sword. You can see it's cupped, and yeah, I guess we'll get his sword in that hand shortly. And then he's got a left hand that has the thumb extended, but I believe you can use this for his sword as well. At least that's what I used it for on the Toy Fair version. And then a right hand similar to that last left hand that can be utilized to hold his sword or whatever you want. All of the hands are soft, pliable material, pliable plastic, so you can put whatever you want in his hands for the most part. Alright, a real quick deco check before I move forward with the rest of his accessories. So the major differences as far as the deco goes between this guy and the Toy Fair version is the shirt. This shirt is more of a mesh. It seems like it has a little more give as far as the articulation goes. And the other shirt was sort of like a pleather material that had a design here on the front of the shirt. I kind of like this shirt better, to be honest. And then it looks like this belt is loose here on this version. I don't remember it being like that on a Toy Fair version. And you can actually detach this and remove the belt. Looks like the pants are the same. He does not come with the holster on his right thigh for the pistol because he doesn't come with the pistol. But you still do get this holster, which has the slots for his stakes. And on the belt, you can put the boomerang blade here on his belt. So that's pretty much it. Looks like the boots are the same, pants are the same. And yeah, he looks good though. I do feel like you probably get a better range of motion, at least in the upper torso, with this version. But everything else seems to be the same as far as this head sculpt with the flat top. And yeah, he looks good, man. I will say though, it is a little annoying to try to get the belt to sit properly and to kind of come down over the front of his pants without it looking awkward. So you do have to play with that a bit. So just like the Toy Fair version, he does come with a couple of boomerang blades. These are retractable, so you can put it together like that, and then you can get that holstered on his side. Only difference is that these are silver, and the ones that came with the Toy Fair version were red. But honestly, I like the silver better. And there's a look at those. Plugged in. No issues there. And just like the Toy Fair version, he comes with 6 of these stakes. These are silver, just like the boomerang blades. And with the Toy Fair version, these were red. Again, I prefer the silver. I think these look good. and you can holster 3 out of the 6 on his left thigh here. And there's a look at that. Those look good. Just like the Toy Fair version, you could kind of position that as you see fit, as you're posing them, to make everything look good and look authentic. The Toy Fair version came with 2 swords. You get one with this guy, and just like the Toy Fair version, there was a magnet on his back, so the holster or the sheath for the sword can just stick on his back there. And I'll break out the sword. And pardon me, the sheath for the sword is here, and the design on the sheath seems to be the same, just a different colorway here. Again, they're going with the focus. They're going with the silver highlights on this, and so the sheath can be plugged in. I guess it goes on in the same way as the Toy Fair version, which was like that. And then you can sheath his sword. And I didn't really like this sort of design for the Toy Fair version, and I don't like it here. It's pretty much the same thing. It's just not, it's not too sturdy, you know, but it works. It serves the purpose. But it's a little flimsy though. I think that's right. I'm just as confused with this one as I was with the other version. But there he is, holding the sword. No problems there. Again, this belt is a pain in the ass, I'll tell you that. But he looks good. But yeah, however you want to finesse the sword, you can get it in either hand. You can get him holding the sword with both hands. You know, you got a lot of playability and posability with this guy. And a close look at this this head sculpt before I swap it out for the additional head that you get. So that's one of the major differences as well, is that you got the 2 bald head versions with the Toy Fair exclusive. And I know that was probably one of the most attractive features about that particular figure, at least for me personally. That's what you're really missing out on here, is that and the additional shades, because you do get shades with this guy, which I'll break out right now actually. Hold on. So yeah, there's that. You get 4 sets of black shades. With the Toy Fair version, you had 4 sets of black and 4 sets of red. So you're missing out on the bald heads and you're missing out on the red shades. But this is a great accessory because you can definitely utilize them with other Mezco figures, which I've shown before. And so that looks cool. And there's a look at that neck peg. And then he's just packed in with the 1 additional head, the Screaming version with the teeth extended. Looks like the same head sculpt that you got with the Toy Fair version. Alright, so this is like a whole hour later. Hopefully I'll keep the momentum up. I done drank a glass of wine, ate dinner, slapped Peppy, and now I'm back. So he's also packed in with a shotgun. I guess this is a pump action shotgun. The slide here, or the pump, does work. And you know what? Some of y'all tried to kill me in the last video about the guns. Let me explain something to you about guns and kids that live in the inner city in New York City. As a kid, me and my siblings, we were never allowed to even have a toy gun. That's for one. But when you grow up in the inner city in New York City, if it's very hard for you to get a gun legally. And a handgun at least. You know, I didn't grow up in the suburbs where my pa was sitting on the front porch and teaching me about guns and shit like that. Anything that I learned about guns in the inner city, it was through an avenue that was not as savory as some of you other dudes. So I've definitely had guns, I've definitely shot guns, but every gun that I've owned has been illegal. So that's what it is. So I've never been into guns like as a novelty. When I heard guns outside of my window, more than likely somebody was getting killed. When you heard guns outside of your window, it was probably just somebody shooting on their property, you know? So yeah, shotgun here looks good, and moving right along. Should be noted that this comes with a little strap that you can sling around his shoulder here too. But this looks to be the same make and model as the last one that came with the Toy Fair version. You can actually remove this strap. There's a little clip here that allows you to remove this. See if I can do this in one shot. Cool. And you actually get a muzzle flare with this shotgun, which was something new to this particular figure. And he's also packed in with this gun as well. Feel free to let me know in the comments if this is actually a real gun. Let me know the make and model. Like I said, yo, joke on me all day, man. I don't mind that shit, but always correct me if you have the information. I'm definitely here to learn and eager to hear what you guys have to say in the comments. Like I said, I always interact with you guys in the comments. But like most guns that come with Mezco figures, the magazine can be removed here. And he does come with an extra magazine. You can see the bullet right there at the top of the magazine. So again, more authenticity with Mezco. It was the John Wick figure that I was reviewing as far as the guns go. And what I was trying to say was that the guns with John Wick didn't look authentic in terms of the detail. You know, you saw the detail on these two guns. They look really, really good. And the guns with Wick just had a plain sort of flat black paint job. No real detailing. And then you get the standard muzzle flare with this one. This is the one they've been packing in since the very beginning that you got with that first Punisher figure. So you can see the bullet right there at the front of the flare. And that looks awesome. And there you go. I forgot I had John Wick actually right here off to the side. So the Wick, the Mafex Wick shotgun versus the Mezco Blade shotgun. You can see how much more detailed the Mezco version is. Now, what you do get with this guy that you don't get with the Toy Fair version is the long, hard leather coat. This is a design that we haven't seen before as far as coats or jackets from Mezco. Obviously, the zipper works, so you can unzip this, and on the inside, if I can unzip this, that'd be nice. Yeah, my bad. That took me a minute to figure out how to unlatch it here at the bottom, but you should definitely be careful with that because I can definitely see this breaking apart. But again, this is not real leather. That should be noted. It's a faux leather, but it does give the illusion that it is real leather, and I do like the inside of the coat. The line in here looks cool with the red. This looks really good, so let's get it on him. So there's that. That looks pretty good. Again, you should be very careful with trying to zip this up and unzip it. I'm going to leave this unzipped for right now. There is bendy wire in the coat towards the bottom here or throughout the entire seam here and up through the collar, so you can manipulate that as you see fit and do what you want with that. I'll explore this a bit more as I do some displays over the weekend or what have you. But you can see all this gear is still under there. And obviously you can have him hold a gun or kind of tote the gun under his coat or whatever you want to do. It's a lot of playability with this. So pretty nice fit. I like this. And you can still attach the holster for his sheath for his sword on the outside of the coat or on the inside. There's actually a little instruction paper that tells you that. And aside from a stand, that's pretty much all you get with this guy. So in terms of articulation, you saw that the head was on a ball joint. The head does move independently of the neck, so you do get a really nice range of motion. He can look down pretty far, he can look up pretty far, turn left to right, do a pivot, full 360, whatever you want to do there. No hindrance as far as the head and neck articulation. Because this shirt is a little more loose fitting than the version from the Toy Fair Blade, you do get a really nice range of motion in the upper torso. I mentioned that. See how far his arms come up. And when his arms are down to the side, the shirt is still pretty form-fit and it still looks good. You can still see the indentation of his pecs and his abs. So that looks great. There's a butterfly joint here too. You get a full range of motion on the shoulders. You can get the arm up pretty far before you start to stress the material of the shirt. There is a double jointed elbow, which is great. This is something I've complained about many times as it relates to Mezco figures. So they're learning, they're growing. Swivel and a hinge on the wrists. Upper torso articulation, you get a bit, and you get a bit at the lower abdomen as well. You can turn him at the waist a little bit and turn him at the upper torso. I wish the ab articulation was just a bit better, but that's pretty much all you're going to get. It's not going to go back too far. I assume here at the pelvis there's a T-joint. The leg will come up just about that far before you start to stress the material of his pants, and that's pretty much as far as you're going to get with the split before you run the risk of tearing the pants there in the crotch area. There is a upper thigh swivel. You do get a double jointed knee. There is swivel at the upper boot, a swivel and a hinge on the foot, and you get a decent pivot. No toe joint, and that's pretty much it, which is decent. This is good. It's a step in the right direction for Mezco for sure. And just a couple quick size comparisons before I get out of here. These are all Mezco figures. On the far left, I have the Red Pool Deadpool. I have the Tiger Stripe Wolverine. And on the far right, the first release of the Mezco Punisher. So you can see these are all different bucks, different sizes, different builds. As I always say, I think this Wolverine could have been a bit shorter, maybe about the size of Popeye. And here's one more with the Marvel Legends Professor X on the far left, the Mafex John Wick, and the Star Wars Black Series Jaina Solo. Alright, I'm getting out of here. Look for some displays on Instagram and on my channel throughout the weekend. Shout out to P and Rick and Fabio testing out the new format for the podcast. So we'll be having our 100th episode of the A.C.B.A podcast this coming Sunday. Stay tuned for that. But this is one that I would recommend that you pick up. Like I said, it's not a huge deal if you weren't able to pick up the Toy Fair version. I know a lot of you Mezco collectors are just nuts, but you know, this guy is good, man. It's a great standard release here, and it's one I would definitely recommend. I think Mezco did a great job on this guy. So get out there, get on the hunt. As always, rate, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, peace.